Welcome back to my channel, So Little Time, and my name is Karen. In today's vlog I'm going to be reviewing the Sew Over It Marguerite dress, which was for my recent Felicity Fabrics vlog. So if you'd like to hear more about how I got on with making this pattern up, please stay tuned. Doing really well. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's lovely to have you here with me. If you are a new subscriber, hello and welcome. Thank you very much. And if you are somebody who has come back time and time again, welcome back and thank you for your support. So today's video is going to be all about the Sew Over It Marguerite dress, which I'm wearing right now, and it is actually for my second blog post for Felicity Fabrics. That's now live on their website, so I'll put the link in the description box below for you so you can check out that full review in written format if that's what you'd like. And I'll insert all the photos at the end of this video as well that I took on the day. So I have to say that I absolutely love blogging for Felicity Fabrics. Caroline and Fliss are just so kind, generous and patient. They're just so lovely to work for. I feel under no pressure or obligation to get my garment made up by a certain deadline, which is really great because I don't have a lot of time to sew, so it's nice that I'm not actually working towards a deadline date. And I have to say, probably it's a good thing this time round because they sent me the fabric for this dress back in August, so I'm a little bit out of season with this dress right now, but I'm going to tell you all about it anyway. I really did enjoy making this dress up, although I did sit on that fabric that they sent me for quite a while. I knew exactly what I wanted to make, but I procrastinated making this dress because it is quite an involved make and I knew that it would take me slightly longer than sort of some other makes that I've done in the past. And I also was a little bit worried about how the fit was going to be because I'd done a little bit of research on other people's makes for this dress and I'd heard there were quite a lot of fit issues around the back area, which I'll go into in more detail in a moment. So the fabric they sent me is a cotton Dobby fabric in this Ecru colourway. Now it's coming across really bright on the screen because of the reflection from the window, so it looks pure white, but it's actually an Ecru colour, so it's a slightly off-white. So I'll come in a little bit closer so you can see the little dots that it's got all over it. So it's a cotton Dobby, and this is a fabric that they stock on their website all the time, and they've got it in a few other colourways as well. And I chose the Ecru because usually that is quite complementary against my dark hair, but it does look a lot better when I've got a tan. So I feel like it's washing me out a little bit right now for this time of year. But I have found a way to dress it up for this time of year if I wanted to. So I'll show you that in a moment. So I don't actually have the pattern itself to show you right now. So what I'll do is pop a picture on the screen of what Lisa looks like in the version that she made, which I think is on the front cover of the pattern. I think that is actually in a cotton Dobby fabric as well. It's just in, I think, a pink colourway, which I think Felicity Fabrics actually do have. Now, I do urge you to go onto the Felicity Fabrics website and have a look at all their beautiful fabrics, as they've recently uploaded quite a lot of new stock. So they've got some gorgeous jerseys on there right now, which are just, you know, so suitable for this time of year. So I do feel a little bit chilly in this dress right now, I have to say. But anyway, onto the dress itself. So as you can see, it's got quite a wide neckline. And I do just have a standard bra on with it, so my bra straps are just right there, so they're not showing, which is quite nice, but just bear in mind that this has got quite a wide neckline. And I have made an alteration to the back, so I feel like it has brought the neckline in slightly. It's got grown on sleeves. I'm just going to pan you down slightly so you can see a little bit better. So it's got grown on sleeves, so you don't actually have to insert any sleeves as such, but as you can see, it's got this little cuff section right here. Now I've hand stitched that into place because I didn't want it to flip over, so I've literally, you know, just hand stitched it in little sections as I didn't want it to flip over. Now that's the only part of the dress that I really found quite a fiddle. If you can't tell the difference between the right side and wrong side of your fabrics, then I do think you might struggle a little bit with the construction of that. Now if you follow the instructions step by step, you'll probably be fine, but it would make it easier if you can tell the difference between the reverse and the right side of your fabric. As you kind of put it on back to front in a way, and then the way you fold it, it then puts it in place correctly. It's really hard to explain without showing you the actual step-by-step details, but that is probably one of the fiddliest bits of this dress. So it's got the grown on sleeves, the wide neckline, and then as you can see here, it's quite a baggy kind of bodice. It's got bust darts, which I feel are in the right place for me. I didn't have to move those at all. They're going straight to the correct place. And then you gather the bottom of the bodice, and then you attach it to the waistband. Now, as you can see here, I've got my waistband has got, unfortunately, a line through the middle where you can see the fabric from the top of the bodice and also where the skirt is inserted. And I did actually interface this waistband so you can still see you know, the difference in the colour a little bit there, just because it's got double fabric there. So I think next time, if I was to do it in a colourway like this, I would definitely put another, probably based on some more fabric onto the waistband. It would make it slightly stiffer, but the interfacing that I've used is quite lightweight, so you know, it's quite flexible waistband. It's not stiff at all. So that is something I probably would do if I was using a lighter colourway. I don't think you'd have that problem, you know, if you're using a darker colour. And then the skirt section, this is also gathered here as well. So actually on the skirt pattern pieces and the top pattern pieces, there are notches where you need to gather them before you put them into the waistband. But I do actually quite like that. And the way that she's gathered it is that you don't actually gather at the sides here or here. So if you're like me, quite a hippie person, then it's quite nice that you don't have those gathers there to add extra bulk onto an area where you might not want it. But I'm really, really happy with how those gathers have gone in. I've got no puckers or anything, which is quite nice. Yeah, and I think that is quite effective. It's quite a flattering shape, I have to say. Yeah, so I think it is a really flattering shape with those gathers going into the waistband. So you don't have too much fullness on your hips, which is really nice. So on the back, it's actually closed with a visible zip, and then usually it has a sort of a eyelet section, about sort of that big, and then it's closed with a button and button loop, I think, or a hook and eye, whichever your preference would be. But when I've been researching the fit of the pattern and how others had made it, I noticed that there was quite a lot of room at the back, excess fabric, and also where they've got the eyelet and then the zip just coming up to the bottom of the eyelet, it was making the fabric stick out because the weight of the zip was actually pulling it that way, because there is quite a lot of excess fabric at the back. So I decided that I was going to be putting an invisible zip in, but to go all the way up to the top. Now also, before I go any further about that, I lined this dress because when I received the fabric, the colourway made it quite sheer. So it wasn't so much sort of see-through to the point where you held it up to the light. It was more so where you have it against your underwear and you can see what you're wearing underneath, that kind of where you get the contrast of the white through onto the white. So I decided that lining the dress would be the best option. So instead of lining it as you would a normal sort of fully lined dress, I decided to interline it. So what I mean by that is where you would put your lining fabric wrong sides together against your outer fabric, and I just based around the outside of those pattern pieces within the seam allowance, and then you treat those pieces as one piece. And this is what I do on all my pinafore dresses because I like to have a slippy underneath bit so I can wear it with tights. So yes, this was purely just because of the sheerness of the fabric. So what I decided to do was actually have a look at what I'd got upstairs in my stash. And I have actually been given quite a lot of old curtains in the past, so I thought I could use the lining of those curtains. Now, the lining in the curtains that I'd got was more of a cream colour, so it actually has made the dress more of an ivory colour rather than the Ecru colourway. I know it's looking quite bright, but again, like I say, it's because of the window that I've got behind my camera. So if I stand back, I'll just see if I can walk back. You might be able to see that it's quite ivory. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that or not. It's a slightly different colour to the actual fabric, so it has made that slightly different, but I don't mind. I think it still looks really, really nice. So to enable me to have quite a nice clean finish on the inside of the bodice, what I did was I actually attached the lining around the neckline first and then flipped it to the inside. So I did that by putting them right sides together around the neckline and just stitching 1.5 centimetre seam allowance all the way around, and then flipped it to the inside and then basted around the edges for the rest of the pattern. So that enabled this to just literally be like that. so there's no facings, and there's no stitching line around the top of the neckline. So I don't know if that is very clear, but I might explain it a little bit better in my written review. So that was a nice clean finish. So on the inside, the bust darts, the raw edges are all enclosed, which is really nice. Now the only problem is, because I'd actually interlined it, rather than having a standard lined bodice, it meant that when I was inserting the zip, that I didn't actually have the lining fabric to sort of cover over the zip tape afterwards, so where you would usually hand sew it down. I didn't have that, unfortunately. And so what I did do was recorded a quick story on my Instagram and asked advice from the sewing community about the best way to insert the zip to ensure that it looked quite neat on the inside, as I am quite particular about the inside of my garments. And I had quite a lot of feedback, so if you were one of those people, thank you very much for your feedback. I really appreciated it. So in the end, what I decided to do was to have my zip go near enough to the top, but just to leave a centimetre gap, so that the zip tape, you wouldn't have those flappy bits, because there would be no way of sort of folding it over out of the way, because you're not enclosing it in the lining as such. So I just had it a centimetre down and installed the invisible zipper as normal, and then I put a hook and eye on the top. So what I'll do is I'll try and turn around so you can see that I've got the hook and eye at the top there, and then my invisible zip goes near enough to the top. So I decided to do that because I didn't want the eyelet section, because I'd heard it just made the back of the dress have quite a lot of excess fabric and made the zip stick out. So because I'd heard there was quite a lot of fabric, when I tried it on, before I even installed the zip into the back of the dress, I could see that there was quite a lot of fabric that I could easily overlap at the back by about 2 inches excess basically. So before I put the zip in, I decided to overlock the edges of the dress all the way down the back before I'd even put the zip in at all, just so it was a neat edge. And then I took off quite a lot on each side of the bodice, and then sort of tapered back down to the 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I overlocked, literally taking off about an inch on each side, so it was quite a lot, and then just tapered back out, so the overlocking came to the edge of the fabric, so that when I put the zip in, it would fit me still fine around the waist. So I have taken quite a lot off the back, so that would have been sticking out quite a lot otherwise. So the dress itself, like I say, I lined the skirt as well, so that's interlined also. It's quite a nice length. Let me stand back a bit further. It's quite a nice length. It comes down to my knee, so it does feel very much like a nice sort of summer dress. Yeah, and I really, really like this fabric. It's really nice to wear. I've got it on with some roses in my hair, just some fake roses. These were actually ones that I had in my wedding hair when I got married 10 years ago, so it was quite nice to pop those in, because I felt very much like Sandra Dee, you know, out of Greece, so I feel like I should be in a stage show with this dress on. So when I made it, I did feel quite bridal in it. That's why I put the flowers in my hair, just as a bit of a joke really, but I will wear it in the summer. I think, like I say, it will look a lot better when I've got a tan, but I will show you how I'm going to sort of style it up. So I'm just going to grab my denim jacket, because I think it looks really nice with that. I think it looks really nice with the denim jacket. I just think it dresses it down quite a bit. I mean, I would take these flowers out of my hair, so let's just take those out so we can get a sort of better idea of how it looks. So yeah, it just looks, you know, quite nice with the denim jacket. I don't think it makes it too dressy, it just dresses it down. And I think actually as well, you could probably pop on your feet a pair of trainers or something, you know, just really make it a bit more casual. Yeah, so I really like how that looks. I think it just, you know, calms it down a little bit. So as I was making this dress up, I thought, you know, how can I make it more wearable for this time of year if I wanted to wear it in the sort of colder months? So it actually inspired me to go out and buy a faux leather jacket. Now I bought it secondhand from Vinted. It's an app that you can put on your phone. I don't know if it's available elsewhere other than the UK, but you just basically buy an item that somebody is selling outright. You don't have to bid for it like you do on eBay, which is quite nice. And then they just, you know, send it in the post to you. So I just went on a whim and had a look to see if I could find one, and I did find one on this Vinted app, really quite a reasonable price as well, so I just took a gamble as to whether it's going to fit me okay, and it turned up and I was just absolutely delighted. So I'm going to pop it on with this dress because you can see how it just makes it look a bit more edgier. So here it is with the faux leather jacket on then. It's just a nice soft leather. It's really, really nice. I really like this jacket. I think it's going to go with quite a lot of things in my wardrobe, you know, to be wearing it out on an evening when we're eventually allowed out to escape and have a night out. But yeah, I just think it looks quite good with this. Now I've put black tights on as well, so I'm just going to stand back a bit further so you can see that I think it just gives it a completely different look. So it's not so much Sandy, but Sandra D. Yeah. You know, yeah, I do love my Greece, ignore me. I always wanted to be a pink lady when I was at school. Yeah, so I really, really like that. I just think it gives it, you know, like I say, a completely different look and makes it a little bit more edgier. You could perhaps put a scarf on with it or something, and some nice sort of black boots. I don't actually own any black boots, so maybe I need to go on Vinted and find some more style, sort of biker style or something. Yeah, because I definitely would wear this out together. And I think you could also, if you have got a belt to put around the middle. Gosh, that's really bright. Sorry, let's take this off. Yeah, put a black belt perhaps around the middle to break it up. That would be a good idea, or any other colour. Also wear it with sort of skin coloured tights and nice red shoes or something, and put a red flower in your hair so you look a bit more señorita. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with the dress overall. It did take me a couple of weeks to sew it up, as it was quite fiddly in some areas, especially where those gathers are here. There was a lot of gathering. But it all went together nicely. I really do quite like the shape of the bodice. It's completely different to any other style of dress that I've got. Yeah, and the zip's gone in really well. It's gone completely invisible all the way through the waistband, and I've managed to get the waistband to be lined up accurately as well. Gosh, sorry, I am cold, so I'm going to have to get out of this dress. I do feel like I'm sort of starting to clench a little bit. Yes, but anyway, I hope you like the dress that I've made and you found the review informative for you if you do ever go ahead and make this dress yourself. Like I say, check out the full written review. I've probably explained it a little bit better on there. And what I'll do now is just insert the photos that I took. Now, it was a horrible, cold, rainy day, so I took them inside, so they're just actually in this room, so they're not anything special, I'm afraid. So hopefully in the future I'll be able to get better photos. So I hope you enjoy them anyway. So yes, that's all for today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have done so, please do give me that thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell so you receive notifications of when I upload new videos. I also have a Ko-Fi page if you would like to support my channel by buying me a virtual coffee. I really do appreciate everybody who has bought me a coffee so far. Thank you so, so much. I still have a way to go to buy a new camera for me to vlog on, but in the future I do hope to do that as well. So I'm saving myself. So yes, thank you very much, and I shall see you again very soon. Bye.